Yo, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for checking back in. For those of you who are new, my name is Dave with everything in between. So today we're going to be putting, let me show you over here on this side. We're going to be putting a 5-shelf storage rack together. This is how it looks when you buy it online. This is how it looks when you buy it in the store. Of course, I need to make it look nice and show everything, but when you buy it online, this is what you get, and it is like that on both sides. That's the back. That's the back. Looks all nice and everything. I had to find it online, got it online. I'll send a link, or I'll put a link in the description of where you can get yours in case you can't get it locally or something like that. I can get you one online. Got roughed up in transit. That's the only thing about buying big things like this online. It gets roughed up, man. So hopefully it has a good powder coat finish, that it really didn't mess anything up. If they're gonna save on the nice packaging for just cheaper cardboard, at least give me some, you know, extra padded packaging if it's gonna be bouncing around in a truck and tossed and everything like that. Let me get all this sorted out and I'll come back to you. So a big tip with this shelving unit or this storage rack, make sure you clear out the area that you're going to want to install this or want to put this, and install it in that section, unless you have one of two things. Either you're going to rig it to where it doesn't come apart, or you have another person to help you move it to where, you know, another location. And I'll kind of go over that at the very end and show you why that's probably one of my downsides, or one of the only downsides to this storage rack. Okay, so apparently the one that you buy online also does not come with instructions, but it's pretty much self-explanatory, so you really don't need instructions. But the ones that I got from the store, they actually came with instructions inside. So these are going to be your side pieces, these shorter ones. The longer ones are going to be your front and back pieces. And then this is where everything's going to snap in together. These are all your corners, okay? And that's all it consists of. You also have your 5 laminated shelves, okay? Those are pretty heavy. Oh wait, there is instructions. It's right here. I took it out and didn't even realize it. But yeah, so that's the instructions right there. And then it's just simple steps. Just really basic simple steps. And you also have these plastic pieces. They give you a lot because there's different type of configurations that you can do. You can do 3 shelves, and then right next to it make a 2 shelf, and so you'll need more of these corner little pieces. But this is going to be our first step. We're going to take 4 of them out. All right, so we're going to start with this step first. And you may want to have you a rubber mallet. Let me go see if I can find mine. You really don't want to use a hammer because this is really flexible, just rubber padding or rubber feet, and the metal will tear right through that. Even though you'll have a lot of extras, if you're just doing a 5-tier, you'll have a lot of extras. Let me go get my mallet. Okay, first step is to upside down. So the big hole goes on top and the small hole goes on the bottom. So this is going to be our bottom piece right here. Okay, so let's get our little rubber piece or foot, whatever you want to call it, and let's try and fit it in there the best we can. I actually have it on my foot. It's not, you're not hitting it really hard, so it's not hurting my foot. But I'm just, you know, you got a rubber mallet, you're hitting it on rubber, so it shouldn't be that bad. So it'll look like this, okay? So we got that nice and in there, so. And we're gonna do that 3 more times real quick, and then we'll come back when we're done. This is how the holes will look. The big one on top, the small notch on the bottom. So these are all 4 bottoms with all the rubber feet. Okay. So what I figure that works better for me is I do the left side and the right side first. So I'm going to use 2 short pieces, one for the left, one for the right. And I want to skip the first hole in the bottom and start with the second. I'll show you what I mean. Alright, so what I'm going to do is it should look like this, okay? Remember, this little piece right here is the lip where that laminated shelf sits on. Okay, so don't put it like that because that's upside down. The shelf needs to sit on something. So put it this way. Okay, that's how it goes. So be careful with that step. I'll leave the first one visible down there, and I start with the next 2. This is where I start from. I go ahead and I push it down and I lock it in place. Just know that that can pop out anytime the storage rack is moving. So just be wary of that. When everything's put together, or whenever you start getting the skeleton put together, this is where you get your rubber mallet and you hit this down to make sure it locks into place. Okay, so right now we're good, and this is how I'm going to do the other side. This is one side, just like this. Okay? Just like that. I'll leave the bottom one open. I leave the bottom open. You can go all the way to the bottom, but it's recommended to at least leave the bottom one open like that. Okay? Let's do the other side. Alright, so now it's time to set one side up. So we're going to put one of the beams, and we're just going to do one slot at a time. Okay? So let's get to it. Always remember that lip goes on the inside. Okay? Do not put it upside down. It'll be stuck like Chuck. Looks just like that. Okay, on both sides. So that's it. Once the base is done, it's pretty much counting up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to count 10 holes up, and I'm going to free 10 holes, and I'm going to put it on the 11th and 12th one. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then I'm going to put the bottom one on 11, 12. Do the same thing on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Push down. Push down. Okay, let's go take a look. 1. I'm not counting this one. I'm counting this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'll start on the 11th and 12th one is the ones I'll take. Alright, and then we're going to go ahead and do that for the rest of them. And I'm going to do 10, and then we'll do another 10 up on top. And so let me go ahead and finish these right here, and then I'll show you the L brackets that we're going to put on so we can attach the second half. So now it's time to put the C-post coupler. I think that's what it's called. It's just a coupler because it couples the two together. It says to put it with the holes on top. I have no idea what that's for. There is a little welded piece that stops that coupler from going all the way down. So just push it all the way down. It goes about halfway. And now we're going to stick the next round of corners all the way around it. Alright, so before, remember the big hole on the top, the small one on the bottom. So now, before you put these on top, let's get the top rubber stops up there real quick. Now, they all have that little welded piece. I don't know how good you can see that piece right there. You see that piece right there? They all have that welded piece, so it's not like you have to use, they have to be a certain direction. It's always going to be like this if you have the big on top and the slot like this, with the big hole on the top and the slot on the bottom. All 8 will have that little welded piece in case you put one on the top, one on the bottom. So you shouldn't be able to go wrong. All the pieces are identical. Okay, I think we're good. We cleared our light switch over here, and we're just right in front of the outlet. So now that's it. Now we're just going to count another 10 holes up, and then go all the way around, and then 10 holes up, go all the way around. I think the last one is like 8, but we'll see when we get there. Humid in here. So as you see, some of the little slots started coming out a little bit. That's one of the negatives of putting this together. If it moves around too much, it may slip out a little bit. So that's why you have the rubber mallet to help you push them down, so that you don't have to be hurting your hands pushing on the thin piece of the metal here. So that's just one of the downfalls to this. But once the shelves are on, it's solid as a rock. So let's get back to it. Those two in the back corner of the bottom, they're just a little loose, so any kind of odd movement, they kind of want to slip out of place. Before you put that shelf on there, you want to make sure they're all the way inside that slot. That way you can put that the laminated shelf, and it'll have that weight, because they do have a little bit of weight to them, and it'll keep that shelf down. All right, so on the very top one, I put it on the very top notch, and it'll have about 7 or 8 holes underneath it. So all the shelves will have 10 slots between them, except for the top one will have like 7 or 8. So let's put this on and see how many it is. One, two, three, four, five, six. So you'll have 7. 7 slots of space right there. I hadn't had this much problem with the 1 or 2 of the little slots coming out with the ones in the store. This one I got in the, delivered from online. Is there a difference, or is it just the box that's the difference? I don't know. I'm gonna buy one more, and if they're not available in the store, I'm gonna have to buy it online. And if that one is difficult to put together, it keeps popping out the sockets, that's 50-50. So what I'm doing is I'm making sure that this bottom piece and this bottom piece are aligned, because this shelf was a little bit higher. So you want to go through and make sure that the tops and the bottoms are all lined up, because if not, that shelf's not going to fit on there. Alright, see how this is all lined up? All that's lined up. And so I'm just going to go on the other side and make sure all of them are lined up. Okay, so now it's time to get the laminated shelves. Has a sticker on there. You can leave it on there. I just put it on the bottom. Go. Once that first one gets in there, it kind of helps it line everything up. So that's how it is. Okay, should be nice and flush. Okay, should not be up over this lip. It actually has the brace actually comes up just a little bit, maybe about 3 millimeters. It comes up. So if you have a pencil and it's rolling off, it's not gonna roll off the edge. It sits a little, probably about 2 or 3 millimeters below that brace. All right, so let's get the other ones on there real quick. And at the same time, we're making sure that the braces and the long pieces, they're not popping out of the slots. So I'm going to go around and check. That one popped out. Always check before you put that shelf on. There we go. Okay. Nice and flush. Okay. That's it. I can start putting all my garden stuff, so my wife don't have to be going all the way to the back of the garage or the shop, and she can just go right here in the front. Okay, that's basically it. There's a few more things somewhere around here, but that's basically what that's good for. So, all right, well, that's pretty much it. Is it difficult to put together? No. For one person, no, not really. Unless you have short arms or something like that, or you're just petite. I have T-Rex arms, so if I can do it, you should be able to do it. You know, there is a couple of things that, a couple of downfalls, but I don't think they're deal breakers for what it costs and for what it, you know, the functionality. I had those Plano brand, it's the Plano, I think is what it's called, the little 5-tier, but they're like 18 by 12 inches deep, and or something like that, or 18 by 18 or something like that. And it just wasn't enough. It wasn't cutting it. I was putting heavy things on there, and it's made out of molded plastic or whatever, ABS, whatever, and it would just sink. So it's 800 pounds per shelf. 800 pounds, it's not bad. My little molded plastic 5-shelf thing couldn't hold like 20 pounds before, I mean, it just starts dipping. So yeah, it's great. Once it's put together, it is great. I was going to buy the bigger one that costs 150, but that has those great shelving with the big square, you know, wire rack or wire shelves. But then the more I realized, I'm not going to be having big things on there, like big buckets and totes and tires and stuff like that. And so when I saw this one for half the price, probably a little bit less than half the price, I think, can't remember, I think there's a 70, I'm not sure. This made more sense because the shelves are flat laminate shelves, shelving, and I can put little things like this without it falling through the graded shelves. So you know, I basically get 2 for the price of 1 of the other one, even though that one's more heavy duty. But I had to be realistic and look at my garage and say, do I really need that? And I didn't. I just thought these were going to be flimsy like the ones I've seen in the past. This is not flimsy. I have 2 already that can vouch for that. They're nice and sturdy. The only 2 downfalls I can see is when you put it together, you know, if you move it around a lot, you know, the slotted parts of the braces, they can pop out of the slotted, so you got to keep making sure they stay in and don't pop out. The first 2 that I bought in the store did not happen to me like that. Maybe once or twice, but this one had 2 of them that whenever I was, you know, moving the entire frame just a little bit, they would pop out. So, but now they're nice and secure. They got the shelves on them and they're not going anywhere. The second thing is you can't move it around unless you have another person because one, this top piece and this bottom piece, if you remember me sliding that second top piece pole on, you know, there's no clip, you know, so if you grab it from the top portion of it and the other person grabs from the top and y'all pick up, that bottom half is coming off, okay? Unless you get some screws or some machine bolts and nuts and drill a hole and secure it, that way you can pick it up and move it. That'll be the only way. Be careful how you maneuver this thing after you put it together. I would put it together where you're going to want it, unless you have another person to help you move it to another location empty. I wouldn't move it full or anything like that. So that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helps you. If you get one, don't have the instructions. I didn't use the instructions. The only part I used the instructions on the very first one that I got was making sure the alignment, it was not upside down, the rails. That was the only thing, but I was just reading through the instructions just to see if there was anything surprising. Nothing out of the ordinary. It just did make me focus on those rails, that they have to be right side up, because everything is the same. Everything is put the same. You can't go backwards on anything besides putting those upside down, those rails. And that's it. So hopefully it helped you out. Like this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, let me know by giving it a thumbs up. Subscribe, hit the ding the bell for notifications. I am going to put this dehumidifier, make a video of that. I'm waiting for that hygrometer to come in. We're going to do some 2-3 week tests with that and see how much this humidity gets dropped in here, because I shouldn't be sweating this much. So that's all I have for you. We'll catch you on the next one, and I hope you're having a good day DIYing.